Hey, what's up, y'all? Cha-ching, cha-ching. This is Uncle P from Super Easy Forex, and I got a lesson that I want to teach you guys, something very important to help the retail traders, because sometimes you're going to fall into this situation and you don't really know what to do. And a lot of the retail traders, instead of trying to figure out the best way that will save the account, they're trying to find the best way to create a win when there's possibly not a win available. So let me go over what I'm talking about. On last week, the markets were somewhat choppy, even without news. But of course, even though they don't have scheduled news, and we're going to go over that today, I'm going to go over the news events for this upcoming week in just a few minutes. But I wanted to talk about this particular concept, okay? Not every trade you take is going to turn into a winner because the market is in control of the trade. Once you place that trade, it's over. You have no control over it. Everything that you did have control over is no longer available. What you had control over is how much you want to put on the trade, your trading bias, whether you thought it was going to go up and down or whatever, and your technical analysis or whatever else. But once you click the button to place the trade, that is completely out of your control. Now you're at the mercy of the markets. So what do you do when you notice that the trade is possibly not going to work out in your favor? Well, the average retail trader, what they do is they hang on to it. They try to adjust this and that, and they just do too much manipulating, thinking that they still have control. Remember what I just said. Thinking that they still have control. But the truth of the matter is they do not. Unless you have one play left in your playbook, which you do have control over. Once you notice that a trade is not working in your favor, let me kind of show you a couple of examples. In this trade here, you can see it on the Swiss JPY, this thing was heading smoothly upwards. It's a clear uptrend, nothing to even figure out. So if you were playing this to the upside, yeah, you were doing very well on this trade. You can clearly see from one end to the other that this thing was doing very well. Okay, clear uptrend. Okay, and now the uptrend seems to be changing its bias or directional bias according to the 1 hour, and this is the 4 hour view of it. So from the 1 hour, you can see it right here clearly. It was heading up. If I remove this trend line, okay, not hard to figure out. Go to the 4 hour, you can see it was an uptrend. Okay, it had pullbacks, but nevertheless, it was a smooth uptrend. Okay, easy to play. So if you were going to play this with your directional bias, it was easy to figure out, hey, I think it's going to continue up because it's just showing it's an uptrend, right? No problem. So if you were playing it and, you made a mistake, that's fine. That's cool. Hey, it was an uptrend. I tried to play the pullback, but then it shot up. So you can pretty much understand what happened on that. It's not hard to figure that one out. But let's go to a different chart. What do you do when you get stuff like this? You see what I'm saying? And this is choppy, sloppy, and all over the place, all the time, consistently. See this? Just choppy and sloppy, or as I teach my students, like the cats. It's just cat scratching. See, just choppy, sideways markets. Okay, I call it the SpongeBob square head, in my opinion, because, SpongeBob has a square head, and that's what it looks like. It's within, they call it channel trading as well. They got all these fancy bougie names. I just call it the SpongeBob square head. Okay, so what happens if you're in a trade and it's consistently doing these SpongeBob square heads? So you really don't have a consistent idea of what it's going to do. Now, here's the problem with SpongeBob square heads. Hear me really good on this. The problem with SpongeBob SquareHeads is you don't know that it's going to be a SpongeBob SquareHead until you get into the trade. And then it becomes a SpongeBob SquareHead. And it's just choppy, 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 choppy. Now, so what do you do in these situations? Well, I'll tell you exactly what you need not to do. Don't keep trying to manipulate your stop loss and your take profits and this and that. Don't continuously do that. You can do it once or so, but do not continue to do that to try to force the trade. The wisest thing you can do is when the trade possibly, let's just say you entered, and let me try to show you this, okay? Give you a clear example on what to do when you're stuck in these situations, because you will be. The markets, this is what they do. They go up, they go down, and then they consolidate or go sideways, and then they do a breakout. They can continue to do that. It's the Wild Wild West. That's what it is, okay? So if you're trying to predict it, let's just say you say, oh, this thing is going to be going down, and right here you enter a sell trade, okay? You enter a sell trade right here, and it starts to go down, but then it shoots back up, but then it goes down, but it shoots back up, then it goes down, and it shoots back up, okay? And let's put it more in the middle, Okay, because it feels right. Let's just say you go here, and it's more in the middle. So, you know, you're right here. It breaks. You get a break below support, because here's support, prior support. You get a break below support, and here's the first candle close. So you're thinking, okay, it's going to be a sell trade, because why? It was heading down in the first place. It hit support, but then it broke back through support. And so right now, this is where you enter for a sell, okay, because you think it's going to continue in the sell pattern. Everybody clear? Okay, let me go over that again. Clearly right now, it's in a downtrend. It's heading down. It hit support, okay? And then, actually, let's do it the other way. Some of you guys may say, well, if it's hitting support, wouldn't it be a buy trade? Okay, whichever way you want to look at it. And this is my point. Regardless of your personal analysis, sometimes it don't go the way you think. So you'll say, okay, well, hey, Uncle P, ain't this support then? If it's see the double support? Okay, cool. So now you take a buy trade right here, but then it breaks below support. Uh-oh. Your stop loss is right about here. Let's put a stop. You ain't stopped out yet. You say, I'm going to use a generous stop. Okay, no. And here you go, it's support. It breaks below your support line. So now you're pissing in your pants and panicking. Okay, this is what I'm saying. Regardless of whether you want to do it as a buy trade or a sell trade, it didn't even matter. Both of you were right, but both of you are wrong, because it didn't respect either of you. So here you go. You got your supports. It breaks through support, but it didn't. It almost hit your stop, but you didn't. It didn't. Okay, and then it comes back up. So now you're feeling good, because where are you? At break even right here. It comes up, so now you're starting to feel good about it. Oh, here we go. Okay, woo, that was a close one. So you're feeling good, but then it pulls back, comes back below the support line again. Oh my goodness, but then it comes back, and then it just sits here, falls below it, comes back up, shoots a little bit, but then up, back below it. And where's your take profit? Your take profit is up here. Let's just use this here. So your take profit is up here. Okay, so here's your stop, and here's your take profit, almost a 1-to-1, or just a little bit more profit than loss. Okay, so here, and let's change this color to green. This will be your take profit. I want y'all to really see this, to really get the gist of what I'm going to teach you on this video. All right, and let's make this one red for your stop loss, because this is going to happen to you. So now you enter the trade at support, right? And we can make this white for your entry. No, we already have white up there, so we're good. So here's your entry at support. It falls down, comes, hit support. You enter the trade. You put a stop loss comfortably below, and here you go. It breaks below your support line. Now you're pissing and panicking, but then it comes back up. But then it went back down, then it consolidates, goes back down, then it shoots up. You're getting excited because you're thinking, oh, it's coming back towards up. No, I'm sorry. And it comes back down. And now what this trade doing to you this whole time, it's making you seasick. Okay, that's what it does. It's going to make you seasick. Okay, so once you see that this is consistently going and doing these choppy things, look what happened here. For the sellers, eventually you were actually right, because it fell down below the person who wanted to buy it here at the buy point. You were right, because eventually it broke down and it did sell off and continue where it was coming from. For the buyer, you're now crying and pissed because you say, man, I held that thing forever. And eventually, well, here's what you should have done. Both of you. Okay, whenever it comes clear to you that this is becoming very choppy and sloppy, the next time it hits this line, this median line, and you had tons of opportunity to do it. Okay, look, when it chopped, look at how many times it kept coming right back to this support level. Okay, and you see that it's just choppy, breaking up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. What do you do in these situations? Close the trade out and break even. Take your money and run. Do not sit there trying to force the trade to be something that it's not. Again, I call it also the vortex. Once it enters into the vortex of the SpongeBob SquareHead, see the square head? See, where it's just choppy. Boom, 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 boom. Once you realize that you're in one of these, get out as quickly as possible. Even if it has to be at a small a small loss. It's better to do that than to sit there holding the trade where you could have been in a whole different trade altogether, making money, than sitting in the vortex trying to force it, trying to move your stop loss up and down. That's what people do. Well, I'm going to move my stop. I'm going to move my... And you keep trying to manipulate this, and it's a vortex. You can't do anything with the SpongeBob SquareHead until it comes out of it. And therefore, you don't know whether it's going to come out in your direction or the other. Now, typically, it is a continuation pattern. Okay? Typically, it is a continuation pattern. So, as you can see, this thing was going in a downward trajectory. It consolidated, and then it broke out and continued on down, right? But, and as you can see, this one did the same thing. It came back up and then eventually broke down some more. Okay, so it is technically a consolidation, a continuation pattern. But the point is, you don't know this stuff when you're in the trade. Okay, it's kind of like when a person is, having a good time and they're running, and then all of a sudden they fall into quicksand and it's sinking you. Okay, one of the things what they say to do when you're stuck in quicksand, do not struggle. Because the more you struggle, the more it's sucking you in. And some of you guys are struggling when you get into these kind of trades because you're trying to force it. So you're moving your stop loss. Let me move my stop loss up a little more. Well, let me move my take profit. Let me do this. You have no control over this. This thing is doing what it wants to do. And you can't make it do anything other than that. The only play you have left when you're starting to get nauseous and seasick, close the freaking trade out. Once you see it broke down, didn't hit your stop, came back up, and you still waiting, and they did it again, and then, okay, right here, that's enough for me. Okay, it's time for me to just move on. You don't know what you want to do, and it's time for me to just get out of this trade at break even and move on. Okay, everybody clear on this? I hope you're clear, because I'm going to take you somewhere and I'm going to show you what happened. On last week, we had suffered this situation in our signals group. Okay, which, by the way, if you don't have the sexy analyst, you can go to loveyourcharts.com. Okay, just loveyourcharts.com and get this trading system. This thing is a beast. It comes with 2 scanners and everything else, a low nominal fee just to help us with our nonprofits that we're supporting around the globe. And here's just some of them. This doesn't even include the homeless people and stuff like that. So the charts that you typically see me using, this is our additional system. I use Simplicity in combination with this one. And so, I mean, it'll make a completely different perspective on your trading if you add this to your repertoire. And again, this does come with 2 separate scanners. And so loveyourcharts.com, or you can go to our website and click right here on the sexy analyst, and it'll take you right there to give you more information. Okay, now, so let's go to our signals result last week. We had a really good week, actually. So last week, we actually had 10 wins, 2 losses, but look at this number here, and I'm going to put it here for you guys to see. We had 10 wins, only 2 losses, okay, which means we won 8 trades, okay? 10 wins, 2 losses, but look how many break-evens we had to do last week because the market kept going into these consolidated patterns. We had 6 of them. If it wasn't for that, boy, our numbers would have even been bigger. But here's the key. We could have suffered 6 losses, which would have made this 10 and 8. But because we were smart enough to know, hey, these things consistently keep falling into what? Consolidatory patterns. Close them out at break even. This is a record for us. We've never, check our whole history. It's right here. You can check ever since the beginning. We did our whole history. This is the highest number of break evens we've ever had in our history. Okay, period. And I'm thinking we've been running this signal service for years. But nevertheless, guess what? This is what happened in the market. So we go with the dictations of the market. We don't control the market. We just participate. We're market participants, so we have to go with the flow of the market. And when we realize that the market is choppy and doesn't know what it wants to do, then sometimes we will have to close these trades out at what? Break even. Now, they could have been losses if we weren't using wisdom, but we kept our losses to a very small minimum, so we still had a very profitable week with 8 wins. See, because if you take 10 minus 2, that equals 8. So we had 8 wins, and there you go. See what I'm saying? So we're in profitable because these are just nothing. This is zero, which means they weren't winners, they weren't losers. We just couldn't take them. So we started the trades out, had good intentions, but when the market said, I don't know what I'm going to do, then we said, well, I know what I'm going to do. We're going to get up out of you. Are you understanding what I'm saying? So the smartest traders on the planet know when to cut the trades off. Retail traders hang on for dear life and blow their accounts when you could have simply closed the trade out, went to another trade, and been profitable. But instead, they constantly are trying to make the market do what they want, as if you can will yourself to make the market move the way you want it to move. It does not work that way, family. And the sooner you get that understanding, the more relieved the pressure you're going to feel on every trade. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's like you jumping on a cruise liner and now you want to, well, you know what? I just decided I don't want to go to the Bahamas. I want to go to Mexico. You don't drive that boat. You understand what I'm saying? It ain't like Carnival Royal Cruise Line going to turn the boat around because you made the decision you don't want to go there. Once you get your behind on that boat, it's over. It's over. You can get on the boat, but until they dock somewhere, you can get off that boat and never get back on. You can do that later. But when you get on that boat, you own the boat, baby. And it's the same thing in the markets. When you're in that trade, you're in the trade, baby. The market will tell you what it wants to do. But the only thing we do have is the benefit of getting off the boat at any point. And whenever you find yourself in a vortex or a SpongeBob SquareHead, if you see that, you notice that the market is just up and down, up and down, up and down, and it's been doing that for hours or days, just cut the trade, move on, and say, you know what, thank you very much for the experience, and you go find something that's more profitable, and you keep it moving. Because again, when you enter trades, there's no way of knowing ahead of time whether this will happen to you or not. There's just no way. Okay? Everybody clear on that? So that's the reason why we had a very profitable week. Only 2 losses. This equals to nothing because it was just open and closing. We closed my break even. No loss, no win. Okay, no biggie. But we did win at 10 of the other ones. Only 2 losses. And in the Signals group, in the live trading group with Miss Jenny, they did over 4,000 live pips. Okay, so pretty good week. All right, so anyway, if you want to join our Signal service, I hope this lesson was helpful to help you improve your trading habits, because again, retail traders are not being taught properly. Okay, and they don't pay for tutelage. They don't be cheap. If you need education, go to our homepage where I can teach you every week, and you'll be live in a room with me. Okay, let me go through the different services we have so you're not confused. If you purchase our Simplicity system, which is our original system, it comes with weekly live classes with me. You just click here on the join button, and when you will get the trading system and all these benefits, our personal private groups and stuff like that. But the point is that you'll be able to attend classes with me every week where I can teach you things that it's not really taught anywhere. And I don't teach everything here on YouTube. Okay, I teach it to my students. Now, if you just want signals and you say, you know what, I want signals and I want to trade in a live session with Miss Jenny during the US session, all right, cool. Then you go here to our signal service and here you are. Just click right here on the join button. When you get done signing up, you click on the login, go through the tutorials, and you'll be good to go. And by the way, there's a bonus indicator in this service called the Daily Dot. I've been using that, and many of my clients have been using it for years. We do not trade without it, and it's free. You don't have to pay for it. And Miss Jenny has her own specific trading system that they use for trading in the markets, so you will get an additional trading system as well. So not only will you get a free indicator, but you're going to get an additional trading system as well with the Signal service. So you're going to get signals sent out from me and Mr. Elvis. You're going to get a live trading system with Miss Jenny. And you're going to get another trading system, and you're going to get a free indicator on top of that. All of that within this service right here. Okay? Now, if you just want to be an independent trader, but you need to see the charts better than what you've been seeing them, like I said, I always use Simplicity with the Sexy Analyst. Okay? And you can go to loveyourcharts.com or go right here to our website, and you'll click on this button here, and it'll take you straight to it. And this thing is an absolute must for me. I cannot trade without it. And it comes with all these different tools, such as the Fibonacci levels. You have what's called outer trend lines and inner trend lines. Some of you guys never even knew about that. I remember I was so serious about my education, I actually paid $500 to learn about trend lines. And they taught about outer trend lines and inner trend lines. And this was taught not from Forex traders, but from stock market traders. Because there's sometimes better traders in the market than Forex traders because they look at other things that the Forex market doesn't. They're more prone to look at fundamental news than the Forex trader who just looks at technicals and they keep losing. You get what I'm saying? So over there, their education is far deeper than what people get on the Forex market, which is why people are much more profitable over there. So what I did was I designed this system with some of the knowledge of what they had over there to create this system. So now you have the options of outer and inner trend lines built into the system. With a click of a button, you can use both, or you can turn either one of them off. You have the Fibonacci levels and you have the Fibonacci retracements in here. With a click of a button, your support and resistance levels, your supply and demand zones. Okay, support and resistance levels, supply and demand zones. See, and this is a picture of them in combination. Okay, so again, any of these can be used, and it comes with two scanners. So when the price action touches this outer trend line, you can get an alert. When it hits a support level, you can get an alert. And these are adjustable as well. You can customize these, the support and resistance levels, to be set for the 1 hour time frame, daily time frame, 4 hour, whatever floats your boat. So it's fully customizable, and it's very, very inexpensive. It's only 96 cents a day. 29 bucks a month plus tax. And what happens is that basically you're helping us to support these nonprofit organizations, because at the end of every month we start making donations out of this to these organizations and many more. Okay, so thank you very much for all who support that. So anyway, I will see you this week, and hopefully you have a great trading week. Thank you.